Okay, so in this annuity problem, you have a periodic deposit of $8,000 at the end of each year. And your interest rate is 5% compounded annually. And your time is 20 years. Okay. Now the formula, if it's annual compounding, is the future amount of that annuity is P times 1 plus R raised to the T power minus 1. And all of that is over R. Now, I want to point out that if it were compounding monthly or quarterly, something other than annually, this formula is going to be more complicated because you're going to have an N in your formula. But here, because you're just compounding annually, the N is 1. And so when you're dividing by 1, it's just the same as that number that you started with, that you were dividing by 1. And so you don't even have to include any N's in your formula. So it's a simpler computation if it is annual compounding. So on this type of problem, typically you're given several formulas to choose from. This is what you want to put on your note card, is your annual compounding doesn't have any N's in the formula. It's just this simpler formula. So if we plug in our numbers here in Desmos now, we'll have 8,000 times 1 plus 0.05 for 5% raised to the T of 20 years. And then we need minus 1 after that. And then I'm going to go outside of both of those parentheses and hit my divided by 0.05. That gives me $264,000, $264,527.63. And on this one, actually, we're supposed to round to the nearest dollar. So you'd have $264,528. But notice how I did the parentheses. Desmos doesn't do brackets, and so you just do multiple sets of parentheses. So you see I have a set of parentheses on the entire numerator. So around the entire thing, including the P. And then within that, you have the part that has the minus 1, and within that, you have the 1 plus R. So I actually have 3 sets of parentheses here on the computation. Okay. Now that gives us the future amount, but you may also need to find the interest. So let's do that next. Is the 8,000.